live show today. We're also taping at the same time. So I hope you guys are in the mood for some tasty treats. We're going to make an appetizer, which is little cheese cubes stuffed with crab meat and pesto. And then I'm going to make seafood coleslaw. It's going to be shrimp coleslaw. And then in the end, dirt pudding. Who doesn't love dirt pudding? Nobody. All right, let's get started. I got to kind of move and talk in the mic at the same time. What we're going to start with is cutting up our cheese. You want to start with 1 pound of cheese, and I'm going to get my little cheat sheet out. Just to make sure I tell you guys the ingredients right. Here's my parents sitting over here, and they know that I don't ever use a recipe. I just kind of throw it all together. So today I have to use a recipe because I have to tell you how to do it. So we have 1 pound of cheese, and I have some already cut up. We're going to make a double of this today so that you guys can all get some tasty treats at the end. In case you didn't notice, today everything is sponsored by Grindr and provided by Grindr, so we're very thankful to them. What you want to do is you want to cut your blocks of cheese about 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 by 1 1/2 inch cubes. And that seems really large. I'll show you some that's already done here. It seems really large, but when you go to cut out the center to put your filling in, you kind of need that big hole, because if not, you're not going to be able to fit your filling in there. So go ahead and cut this up. Now the cheese that we're using today, I have Swiss cheese already done, and then the other cheese is a mild Colby cheese. You want to use a mild semi-firm cheese, and you're going to see why you want it soft here in a minute. You guys were here earlier, the Jet Setters were on. That's the high school show choir. They looked pretty good today. I like those pink and sparkly uniforms. When I was in Jet Setters back in the day, we didn't have pink and black. We had an ugly red color that I didn't like. So they looked very cute today. All right, we got our cheese all cut up. I'm gonna grab my little tool over here. Now, the recipe calls for a small melon baller. Well, we don't have one of those in my house. So I had to come up with a cute and inventive way on how to dig out the cheese. And first I tried a little spoon. And the little spoon did not get through the Swiss cheese. It probably would work on the Colby, and that's why you need a softer cheese, because this didn't work. And I'm assuming if a spoon didn't work, the melon baller probably wouldn't work very well either. So then I tried a little paring knife, and the little paring knife did the job, but it didn't make a very good circle. So in my household, we call this a church key. Now, the older people in the crowd might know why we call this a church key, but for the longest time we didn't know in my family. It's just called a church key. We just go with it. So anyways, that's what I use to dig out the cheese, because it works perfect. You could probably use whatever you want. If you have the melon baller, I'm sure it would work just great. And I just made 4 little inserts and then scooped it out. And then you're good to go. The best thing about this is, if you're a cheese fanatic like me, 1, you get the cheese when you're at your party, and 2, you get to eat the little bites of cheese as you go. Or you can save them and put them on a salad, or the recipe says to save it for a fondue. I think it's a little old recipe. Haven't seen a lot of cheese fondue in a while. Bear with me while I cut these ones out. It's the reason that I had half of these done ahead of time. Show of hands, anybody in here watch Channel 11? Ever? Turn it on? Yeah? Once in a while? It's hard because it's not on all the time. Oh, Rex, I think I messed up your mic. Oh, we're good. It's hard because it's not on all the time, you know, so you get to turn it on at the right time when it's not showing the school menu or anything like that. But we've had some pretty interesting shows on there lately. Let's see, we have a new show just started last year called Artist for a Day. And that is filmed at Hot Pots Pottery here in Alliance. And we go, and Troy, the owner, he shows us how to make different crafts. So we have another show, Scrapbooking by Lisa. Michelle, the manager there, does the show, and she shows us how to make special scrapbook pages. And all right, that should be enough to be able to at least show you guys how to do this. All right, I have one package of imitation crab. Well, no, this is the crab chunk style, but you can use the imitation too. The good thing about this is I don't like the seafoods that come in a can, so the packaging is really nice. All right, dump that in my bowl. All right, and this recipe is really simple and really easy, and pretty much all it takes is crab, cheese, pesto, then some toasted pine nuts. Now, if you have someone who's allergic to nuts, you wouldn't have to use those per se. The pesto that I'm gonna use, it has the pine nuts already inside it, so that's nice, and I didn't have to worry about it. They're already toasted, so all you do is mix it together. And we're gonna use half the cup, we're gonna use the whole cup today because we're doubling our recipe so that you guys can all get some tasty treats when we're done. And 2 tablespoons of pesto, 1 tablespoon of the toasted pine nuts. And like I said, those are already in there. So we're just gonna mix this all together and fill our cheese. And that is all we have to do for this. I'm gonna grab a spoon here just so I can mash it up a little bit. The pieces, this is the chunk style crab, and so the chunks are a little large to put in the cheese. You kind of only get like 1 piece in there, so it works though. And that's gonna fall over, I knew it would. All right, grab a piece of that crab meat, sticking down inside that hole. And like I said, if I would have used something smaller, the hole wouldn't have been big enough. So you gotta cut the cheese really large. All right, we're gonna push this stuff to the side. I'm gonna stuff some of these, I'm gonna put some of them off to the side, and we'll stuff them at the end when you guys can come up and get your little samples. Because I wanna move on to my next thing, I don't wanna run out of time. Bear with me while I switch over to my next item. I'm gonna have one of my lovely camera assistants bring me over a box so I can toss my trash in it. That'd be great.